In today's world, all the stories people shared were about Nyankopon, the chief of the gods. However, Anansi, a spider who was very self-absorbed, wanted the stories to be about him instead. So, one day, Anansi approached Nyankopon and asked if, in the future, all stories told by people could be Anansi stories instead of Nyankopon stories. Nyankopon agreed, but on one condition. He told Anansi that he must bring him 3 things: a jar full of live bees, a boa constrictor, and a tiger. Anansi agreed to the challenge. Anansi grabbed a glass jar and headed to a place where he knew there were lots of bees. When he spotted the bees, he started muttering to himself. They can't possibly fill this jar. Yes, they can. No, they can't. Until the bees approached him and asked, "What are you talking about, Anansi?" He explained that he and Nyankopon had a big argument. Nyankopon had said the bees couldn't fly into the jar. Anansi had said they could. The bees, feeling challenged, declared that they could absolutely fly into the jar. And they immediately did. Once they were all inside, Anansi quickly sealed the jar and sent it to Nyankopon. The next day, Anansi grabbed a long measuring stick and went out looking for a boa constrictor. When he found one, he started talking to himself again. "It will be just as long as this stick." "No, it won't." "Yes, it will." He repeated this until the boa came out and asked what was going on. "Oh, we've been debating in Nyankopon's town about your length. Nyankopon's people say you're not as long as this stick. I say you are. Please, can I measure you?" Anansi asked. The boa, curious, agreed and stretched out straight. Anansi wasted no time tying the boa to the stick from head to tail, then sent it off to Nyankopon. On the 3rd day, Anansi took a pair of sunglasses and blacked out one lens. Then he headed to a spot where he knew a tiger lived. As he approached, he started shouting and singing loudly, catching the tiger's attention. "What's going on?" asked the tiger. "I've blacked out one eye and now I can see the most amazing things," Anansi replied. "Do the same for me," said the tiger, "so I can see these incredible sights too." Anansi immediately blacked out one of the tiger's eyes with the sunglasses. With the tiger now partially blinded and disoriented, Anansi led him straight to Nyankopon's place. Nyankopon was impressed by Anansi's cleverness in meeting the 3 conditions. He immediately granted Anansi permission to call all the old stories Anansi stories from then on. However, Anansi's ambition didn't stop there. He decided he wanted to be known not just in stories but to have his own tales told in every corner of the world. To achieve this, he knew he needed the help of other powerful people. One day, Anansi heard about a wise African king who was known for his fairness and knowledge. The king, Mansa Kofi, ruled over a vast and prosperous kingdom where the people revered stories and storytellers. Anansi knew that if he could impress the king, his tales would spread far and wide. Anansi devised a plan to meet the king. He spun a beautiful silk cloth, shimmering with all the colors of the rainbow, and wove into it a tale of bravery and wit. With the cloth in hand, he traveled to the king's palace. Upon arrival, Anansi presented the cloth to the guards, who were so taken by its beauty that they immediately took him to the king. King Mansa Kofi, seated on a grand throne adorned with gold and precious stones, looked at Anansi with curiosity. "What brings you to my palace, Anansi?" he asked. Anansi, with a bow, said, "Great king, I have come to share my stories with your people. This cloth tells the tale of my adventures, and I wish to weave many more such stories for your kingdom." The king examined the cloth and was impressed by the intricate details and the clever storytelling woven into it. "You are indeed a master storyteller, Anansi," the king said. "But to have your stories told here, you must prove yourself to my people." Anansi agreed and was given 3 tasks to complete. First, he was to fetch water from the deepest well in the kingdom without spilling a drop. Second, he was to capture the golden songbird that nested in the tallest tree. Lastly, he was to bring back a pearl from the mouth of the great river serpent. Anansi, ever resourceful, set out to complete the tasks given by King Monso Kofi. For the first task, he needed to fetch water from the deepest well in the kingdom without spilling a drop. Anansi knew that the well was not only deep but also surrounded by treacherous terrain. He carefully made his way to the well, his keen eyes scanning the area for any potential obstacles. Once there, he spun a special web, a masterpiece of engineering. He wove the web tightly, creating a sealed container that could hold water securely. As he lowered his web container into the well, he made sure it remained balanced and steady. With a delicate touch, Anansi drew the water up, marveling at the reflection of his own determination in the clear liquid. He then carefully secured the top of the web container, ensuring that not a single drop would escape. As he made his way back to the palace, he walked slowly and steadily, his eyes focused on the path ahead. The people watched in awe as he returned, his web container glistening with not a drop out of place. The second task required Anansi to capture the golden songbird that nested in the tallest tree. This songbird was known for its elusive nature and beautiful, enchanting melodies. He climbed nimbly, his spider legs allowing him to move with agility and grace. As he neared the top, he spotted the golden songbird perched on a branch, its feathers shimmering in the sunlight. Anansi knew that brute force would not work here. Instead, he decided to use his musical talent. He began to play a gentle, mesmerizing tune using his web strings, plucking them like a harp. The melody was so sweet and enchanting that the golden songbird couldn't resist. It tilted its head, listening intently, and slowly began to move closer to Anansi. With each note, the bird was drawn nearer, until finally, it landed gently on Anansi's hand. He whispered soothingly to the bird, promising it would be safe, and then carefully placed it in a special web cage he had prepared, ensuring it would be comfortable and calm. The final task was the most dangerous, to retrieve a pearl from the mouth of the great river serpent. Anansi knew the serpent was cunning and powerful, dwelling in the depths of the river, guarding its treasures fiercely. He made his way to the riverbank, his mind racing with ideas. Observing the serpent's movements from a safe distance, Anansi formulated a plan. He found a spot on the riverbank where the serpent liked to bask in the sun. Using his web, Anansi crafted a decoy, a sparkling, jewel-encrusted treasure that glinted enticingly in the sunlight. He carefully placed the decoy near the serpent's usual resting spot, and then retreated to hide behind a rock. As expected, the serpent emerged from the water, its eyes immediately drawn to the glittering decoy. The serpent, thinking it had found a great treasure, slithered towards it, its attention completely focused on the fake jewels. Anansi seized this opportunity. With lightning speed and precision, he darted to the serpent's mouth and, with a deft and gentle touch, plucked the paw from its maw. The serpent, too engrossed in the decoy, didn't notice a thing. Anansi quickly retreated, holding the paw triumphantly. Returning to the palace with the water, the songbird, and the paw, Anansi presented each item to King Monso Kofi with pride beaming from his face. The king and his people were astounded by Anansi's ingenuity, bravery, and skill. King Monso Kofi declared, "From this day forward, Anansi's stories shall be told across my kingdom, and his name shall be remembered for generations." Anansi, now a celebrated figure, continued to weave his tales, sharing his wisdom and cleverness with all who would listen. His stories spread far and wide, and he became a legend, not just among the gods, but among men, women, and children across the land. And so, The tales of Anansi the spider, the master of stories and trickster extraordinaire, were told and retold, captivating the hearts and minds of people everywhere. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more English practice lessons.